webinar. Perfect. I share my screen just to talk about some words about this webinar. So, first of all, thank you for being here also today. This is the second webinar from our series. And in this series of webinar, we will talk about a lot of topics from digital twins, projects, human-centric thinking, and our aim is to create a new collaboration and find some new way for work together. So the projects that are involved also in this webinar are Rare, Regroup, Flex4Res, Accurate, Agiland, and Credit. And this will be the order in which all the project will speak about their topics. What we will see today? Today we will speak about use cases and so the real application of technologies in the real world. So we will also talk about exploitation strategies. So to find the ways in which, okay, we developed new technologies in our projects, but we have also to think how these technologies can be included in the processes in companies and in factories. So we will explain all these topics. These webinars are organized by Sixes in Rare projects. And so we can start with the first project, so with Rare. All the comments and questions can be done in the section question and answer. And in the end of the session, we will answer all, and also we will have a moment of discussion with some questions. So thank you, and we can start with Rare.
Okay.
Domenico, I will share the screen for you, okay?
Okay,
Let me know if you can see it, and when you can see it.
Yes, I can see, I confirm. And well, I will start. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to stay with you. I will present in a short way the Rare Square project, and then we will focus on the application of a specific tool that have been developed within the project in one of our 5 demonstration sites. Anyway, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Rare Square is an Horizon 2020 project, and Rare stands for Rapid Configuration, human-centered rapid configuration of production and value chain fast-changing scenarios. The main topics and objectives of the project basically are to develop a sort of holistic platform that is based on a set of tools that have been developed in the project that are basically early detection tool or system that leverage on digital twin or tools that are focused on human-centered upskilling of the employee in order to create a fast reconfiguration and resilience to external changes of factories, industries, and so on. We have basically 5 different demonstration sites, and they are very, very different between one to another. Indeed, we have automotive demonstration sites, rather than other that deals with, for example, the production of contact lens. So the topic is very different, and so it's very, very huge and complex to basically test and develop tools for so different demonstration case. But we have done this in the Rare Square project. Please, next slide. Okay. What we will produce is this kind of holistic methodology ecosystem platform that is based on this set of tools. And basically, from the experience of the project, we have learned that basically decentralized architecture offer a great flexibility for the rapid reconfiguration of the industry. And of course, this should be applied also together with an early stakeholder engagement during the user story development, basically. Let's go to the next. I will be very short with this slide because then I leave the floor on practical case with my colleague Francesco Galbusera from Fontana demonstration sites. Anyway, we are RareSquare so will contribute improving the resilience and sustainability in a fast reconfiguration process for industry. So the main topics are flexibility and resilience that should be achieved basically with these tools that we have developed within the project that will make more efficient the process of fast and quick change in the company, in the product line process, in order to be responsive, I would say, towards the external impact, external change. And of course, we have developed a lot of tools, and one of these will be then presented with the Fontana demo case. Please, next slide. That is an automotive company located in the north of Milan. And basically, with the application of the tools that we have developed, the decision maker can identify potential issues or bottlenecks in a multi-project lines that they apply in their facility early at an early stage and take this decision, take decisions in a more quick way, basically. Anyway, also the application of this tool have been produced basically a reduction of the work cases in the Fontana factory that is estimated about 12%. So it will fast the process, especially the quality check process, and we will see this with our colleague Francesco Galbusera, that is the next speaker. So Francesco, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thanks, Domenico, for the introduction. Simona, can you switch? Okay, thanks. I'll be very short in the introduction of the company. As Domenico anticipated, we are the Fontana Group. It was founded by Pietro. You see him, it's the small engineer on the left. It was founded more than 60 years ago, and now we are witnessing all the generations after Pietro, so Walter, Marco, Valentina, and Stefano. Basically, they are the president, the vice president, so basically they lead the company right now. It's a family-owned business. We are present in 3 countries. Simona, if you switch, you can see that we are in the north of Italy, in Calolziocorte. It's nice. It's near Lecco, but we are present also in Romania and Turkey. Our core business is so we play in the automotive field. We not only develop dies. We design dies for the cold forming and the hot forming applications. basically, and we sell the die. Sometimes we sell the die. It depends on the customer. Sometimes we sell the dies. Sometimes we use the dies for manufacturing automotive parts. So we design along with the client parts for the body in white. And then for some of the clients, we also provide another service that is the assembly. Assembly means all the techniques that join the parts together, forming basically each group of the body in white. You can see some of our strategic main partners. There are many others. Unfortunately, we cannot cite everybody in one single slide, but yes, this is our core activity. So if you go to the next slide, Simona, you can see the focus. As I mentioned before, assembly is one of our core business. Depending on the project, depending on the vehicle, it can be manual assisted or robot assisted. And it consists in all the joining parts, as you see here: bonding, riveting, welding, hemming, curing, which bring together all the parts from the stamping phase, so the production of single pieces, up to the final component. So for some of the clients, as I said, we provide the full service of assembly. And basically the assembly, when it's performed by robots, it takes place in special islands or stations where it's fully robotized. The human simply act as the input for the parts, but then robots perform all the other operations. These stations are beautiful. They are designed on the peak demand, but unfortunately they are highly inefficient because the demands keep changing. And most of the time the robots are moving without performing the operation, because in this idea the part is staying fixed while the robots keep playing the operation all around them. So they are like pivoting around the single part. So the resulting situation is that prior to checking the geometry and the quality, there's a lot of inefficiency coming from the cell, and the operators are so they work on specific project. Okay, when jumping from one station, let's say an assembly island, to another one, it's a problem, because they are not very well into that project. So the idea of the project was to focus on on a different concept of assembly. If you jump to the next slide, you can see that in the concept is pretty simple and old. It's the famous job shop configuration, where multiple projects goes into the assembly stations, but here we have robots that are fixed, are static, while the piece is moving around. Unfortunately, developing such a solution is not easy, because it takes millions and millions of euros. It has to be designed along with the client for specific project. But the Rara Square was a nice opportunity to put our heads into this big problem. And thanks to the collaboration with Politecnico di Milano, we managed to develop a multi-project line, but in the form of a digital twin. So basically, after selecting selected projects, we managed to run them inside a digital environment, and that's now working. Unfortunately, it's not connected to our digital infrastructure, because we are a company that is still growing in this sense. We were born before digitalization, so unfortunately, for some of the basic problems, even the availability of data, we need to struggle a lot, as we have this problem of digitalization. And that's where basically the next slide draws your attention on a solution that is the upskilling of the workforce and basically the well, I'll try to be very simple with this slide because I don't want to describe too many details of this system. I just want to draw your attention on the fact that by jumping on a job shop configuration of the assembly lines, the workforce have to be more skilled. Basically, they have to know anything about each project. Okay, and this is not something occurring in Fontana right now because the workforce is really specialized on specific projects. So to face this problem, thanks to R2M from one side and Profactor, this multimodal guidance system was developed and it was deployed in one of the plants of Fontana. Basically, it's a multimodal. So this system allows to recognize the movement of an operator and to eventually recognize the vocal. Sorry, not the vocal. The words said by the operator. For instance, identifying a certain type of defect present on a part, and to digitalize these inputs. And for us, this and you may imagine that this is a pretty basic concept, but trust me, this is not easy because when you want to train an operator, right now the training is based on the know-how of the most experienced guy. Okay, so by teaching and so simply teaching, while with this kind of system we can bring the workforce in one unique point and facilitate the training on new projects, for instance. And also it is like we can have a museum of parts with a certain type of defects, and we can use them for training the operators in such a way that the training is digitalized, is much more interactive than the actual conditions, the one we face any day. So this is one, along with the digital twin, this is one of the instruments that was deployed in the RR Square. And yeah, basically that's all. Thanks.
Okay. So I take again the floor, and let's see how these tools developed in RR Square can be exploited. The tools that Francesco just mentioned to us is the multimodal guidance for quality check for also workforce upskilling. But it is not only the only one tool that we have developed. We have developed more than 10 tools in the project, and RR Square provide tailored exploitation paths for each tool that have been developed. Every tool encompasses, of course, as you have seen with Francesco, a specific user need. And the objective is to drive the factory industry resilience and foster flexibility both at production and management level. At project level, the strategy for exploitation is currently under development, but we will use a sort of showroom that we have named RR Square Toolbox, developed with the help of SIXSYS and the CAT2 platform, in order to showcase the tools that we have developed and provide services to the end user, basically. Please, next slide. let's see the focus on multimodal guidance for workforce upskilling. It was developed as announced by Profacto and R2M Solution and tested in Fontana use case. The TRL reached so far is TRL 7. And the system basically can be exploited commercially in a very different field. For example, in automotive industry, like the case of Fontana, but also in aerospace industry, where the high precision in detecting defects is crucial, but also in general in all the other industry that need this quality check to be more efficient. And we can use basically also the tools that have been developed as a sort of trainers for the employees in order to make their skill at more high level, basically. Anyway, next slide. What kind of business model we are approaching to for this specific tool? Of course, we can have a direct sales to large enterprise, for example, offering the overall system to a company that will install it in his facility. But anyway, the tool also is coherent with the licensing option. So we can, for example, offer and sell the license of the tool. And or of course, we can sell the tool as a service-based model. For example, it will not necessary, for example, for Fontana to install the overall equipment in their facility, but there could be an external society that can perform the quality check control with this tool external to the Fontana group, and then send the output directly to Fontana, for example. In this case, they will speed up, for example, the quality check control process. But we basically can use it also for training the people, the employee that have to do this job of quality check. And of course, this will leverage basically on higher flexibility of the production line in a company. Well, this is the last slide from my side, and well, I leave the floor to Simona or Alessandra. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Domenico. Thank you, Francesco. Yes, this is the first case in which we can see how can be difficult to apply the technologies in a real case, but also that it can be done also to the market. So we can go on, then we can discuss all together these points, but we can go on with the second project, Sore Group.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just a moment to share my screen. Now can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now I am Anna Maria Korsiati. I'm Business Development and Innovation Manager at the IT Manufacturing Southeast. And now today I will present how R3 Group contributes to empowering the European manufacturing workforce, enabling rapid reconfiguration, interconnected supply chains, and collaborative platform-based manufacturing ecosystems. R3 Group is an Horizon Europe project focused on helping manufacturing companies become more resilient. We provide tools, methodologies, and training to support rapid reconfigurability in production. Our work goes beyond technology. We focus on the skills and competencies development needed to make reconfiguration truly work. Today's supply chains are more interconnected than ever. They rely on real-time data, digital twins, AAS systems, collaborative platforms, and fast adaptation to disruptions. To use this technology effective, companies need a workforce that is digitally confident, adaptable, capable of working with new reconfiguration tools, and without reskilling, the potential of collaborative platform-driven supply chains cannot be realized. In R3 Group, we specifically address the workforce needs. We develop human-centered insights from operator studies and interviews and surveys. We develop training materials on reconfiguration supply chains resilience. We perform industry workshops. And last but not least, we create multi-level learning paths courses for online training. Our aim here is to empower workers, engineers, and managers so that they can adopt new digital technology smoothly. How we start? We began by collecting real shop floor needs. We developed and contact surveys, identified the skills, the operator requirements, and the skills, and we also contact interviews with managers. This process ensured our training is practical and human-centered. Then, based on the requirements, we design didactic units and organize awareness workshops. These units are hosted on the EIT Academy platform. It is an e-learning platform that ensures visibility and high educational quality. The didactic units will be EIT level certified, ensuring that they meet European educational standards. All this process helps us to understand the operator needs, the digital instruction design, the skills that are required for rapid reconfiguration. And all this process ensures that our training is not theoretical, but human-centered and industry-focused. We created a structured learning path that covers the following topics: digital twins and AAS systems, supply chain resilience, market demand awareness, data-driven decision-making. This learning path is multi-level, allowing the workforce to progress from the introductory to advanced courses. This process supports a continuous development instead of one-off training process. In addition, we will test when we will complete the development of the learning paths and the courses. We will test and promote our educational approach across multiple industrial sectors, such as automotive, fabricated metal products, rubber and plastics, clothes, home appliances. We will carry out awareness-raising activities and practical workshops to ensure that the companies in these industries understand both the need and the benefit of reconfiguration. A major advantage of R3 Group project is our collaboration ecosystem. We have established synergies with projects like Flex4S, Rare, Rene, and others. This collaboration allows us to exchange training materials, to co-develop workshops, and align our research priorities. We have already organized joint workshops, and we will have a full roadmap of additional actions until 2026. To conclude, interconnected supply chains depends on mainly digitally skilled people and not just smart technologies. Upskilling and reskilling are essential for resilience, flexibility, and cross-company collaboration. So here, R3 Group supports the workforce development with training, workshops, learning paths, e-learning platforms, and cross-project synergies. Through our work in R3 Group, we are building the foundation for a skilled, adaptable, and future-ready European manufacturing ecosystem. Thank you for your attention. I will be happy to answer any questions about technology training or R3 Group approach.
Thank you, Anna. Yes, it's very interesting also, for example, the part of the academy, the workshop, because it is a good point also for the discussion after at the end of this webinar to understand how can we learn and how can we teach the technologies in the companies. Well, we can go on with the third project. So it is the turn of Flex4S.
So hi everyone, I hope that you can hear me.
Yes.
And just a moment to share my screen.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so my name is Emanuel Bakopoulos. I'm working for the Laboratory for Manufacturing Systems and Automation, which is located in the University of Patras in Greece. So today I will not go into much details of the project because last time one of our colleagues explained it in details, I mean the technical details, but the focus today is to show you how we utilize some of these technologies in one of the use cases. So briefly, what are the challenges that we aim to address in Flex4S? So Flex4S is an Horizon Europe project that started beginning of 2023 and end of this year will finish. All technologies and things that I will explain today have already been developed and tested. So the goal of the Flex4S project was to create an infrastructure where data can be exchanged using data spaces under a standardized way and also define a common language. So in order to do so, we designed and used some asset administration cell models so all participants could speak, let me say it like this, the same language. But also to develop some services that can assess the resilience of an environment or a plan. And if the plan or the environment would not be resilient, then use a configuration strategy in order to quickly adapt to the cost disruption. So we understand resilience assessment as the services that can assess our capability to withstand a disruption, and reconfiguration strategies, the services that can be used in order to adapt in case that we are not resilient. So on the right, you can see our objectives. So the first one is that we wanted to create an open platform using Gaia X and ideas, and also use digital twins that have been implemented using asset administration cells. Also develop resilient assessment tools that can assess the resilience of the environment or a system or a plant, but also create the configuration strategy services. And finally, test and validate the solutions into industrial pilot cases. In the project, we have 4 use cases. One is see the north. As you can see, we have categorized the use cases into the 3 levels. Let me explain the levels. So the macro refers to supply chain. Meso is on production system level, and micro is on device and resources. So we have categorized the use cases into these 3 categories, and the main focus of this presentation will be around see the north, because we wanted to highlight the supply chain and how we can exchange information and how we did that. So Sidenor use case is a group that produce several products for the global market. So the products are like in the steel sector, and the products are like wire rod, metal parts, and plates, etc. So Sidenor produce for the global market, but also supply raw material from the global market. Also, Sidenor has 5 plants, 9 warehouses, and several other small departments that they use. So I want to say that in order to create a supply chain plan or sales and operation plan, it is difficult for so many facilities. So the challenges that Sidenor had is that disruption were required reallocation that was done manually. And so imagine that a cost disruption in the supply chain had to be done manually. So many planners had to go through it and create the reconfiguration plan. And also this happened on the factory level. So when a deviation or a configuration will happen on the supply chain plan, this applies that the plant should also adapt to the cost disruption. So for example, let's think an increase of the price of the raw material. So we have a slide here that we explain some of the main gaps or challenges that the use case had. So the first one is that about the manual and disconnected planning. That data from different systems managed manually, leading to huge delays and human errors. Then a lack of integration between a network level and the factory levels. So this is something that on the supply chain, the group was computed the plan on the product family level, but then somehow they didn't have a tool to link it to the actual SKUs, to the actual products. And then limited optimization and transparency in the supply chain, a lack of resilient assessment services, market volatility, and limited digital interoperability and data sovereignty. So this is a diagram coming together with some solutions, and now I will try to explain how we address these challenges. So about the first one, the manual and disconnected planning, as you can see with the blue components on the right, we created some reconfiguration strategy tools. So on the supply chain level, a master production scheduler that computes the high-level network plan, where after computing the plan, a new service was developed that we called it supply chain resilience assessment. So this one was able to simulate different scenarios that have been extracted out of the historical data of the company. So after computing some KPIs, we were able to decide if the plan is resilient or not. So if the plan was resilient, then using the international data space, we exchange the allocations to each plan. And another tool that we call macro meso transition tool receive this information and translate from the production from the product families into SKUs. So for example, instead of having Y rod, I know X tons, explain individually what kind of products will be produced and with what capacity. And then after having this information, a production planner utilizes these inputs and a production scheduler. And after that, after having the detailed schedule, similar to the supply chain resilience assessment, we designed a similar tool for the factory level, utilizing now data from the plant level, historical data about disruptions from the plant, and assess how resilient is the plant to the historical disruptions. So now I explained in the first slides that we use GaiaX and IDS. So the IDS was used in order to exchange information in the supply chain, but GaiaX, where we use Pondus-X ecosystem, was used in order to download services. So all the services were downloaded, are available into the Pondus-X catalog and were downloaded into the different environments. So, I mean, as you can see, we have two environments. One is the headquarters, where we use the services that are for the supply chain, and also on the plant level, we have different services that utilize the information from the supply chain and produce it and use it to produce the detailed production schedule. Also, key component to this is the asset administration cells to parse the information out of the company's legal system into the agreed language to the AAS submodels in order to exchange this information and utilize information to the tools. Now, coming to the close of this presentation, I want to answer these two questions that we had. The first one is how close to the real market applications we are. So due to the fact that the project now is closing, we have tested and validated the services and the use of Pondus-X, IDS, resilient assessment and reconfiguration strategies into the use case. Totally in this use case, we have 6 validation scenarios. And also utilize data out of the company's systems. So about exploitation strategies, we have defined totally 17 exploitable results, but today I will just present the related ones that are close to the use case. So the first one is about the federated data space framework. So this is the base, I would say, because on this federated data space framework is about the AAS middleware, the service that can collect all the different AASs that we have, can host all the AAS that we have, and also the data space infrastructure. Then is the production scheduling optimization software. So this is about the macro meso transition tool, production planner, production scheduler, and resilient assessment. So it is all these tools together. And also the optimized configuration of value chains, that is the master production scheduler. After that, you can see 3 more points. So the resilience data model for AAS is it is another exploitable result that will be available after the project will finish. So this, together with some other activities that we do, are considered as upskilling material that we create for the services and the infrastructure. As you can see, the following one, the transfer of best practices on setup data spaces is also an upskilling material that we are working on. And of course, we also are working on training people of how they can utilize asset administration cell that is related to disruption scenarios. So one of the things that we also did during these 3 years is that we created a resilience data model that is published in IDPA, and the very next day will be there. And we will also offer a training material of how you can utilize it. A detailed business plan. We have created the detailed business plan for the key exploitable results. So from this that you can see are the 3 first. But I will not go through this information, I think, today. I don't know if you have any questions or comments for me about how we utilize the services in the Sidenor use case, or if you want to know more about the exploitation plans.
Yes, thank you. Of course, I think that could be interesting to think about the exploitation plan also because we talk about data space, so it is another technology, another way to connect and to gathering data from the companies. I think that maybe we can talk about it after, so we can go on with the other project, Accurate. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Let me quickly share my screen. So first of all, sorry, I did not apply your presentation template because there were too many slides which were difficult to adjust. But I follow, of course, the general idea of collaborative ecosystems today and talking about exploitation strategies and so on and so forth. So that being said, let me share my screen. And Teams don't disappoint me. Okay, second to check why Teams is refusing. It works like that. And that is, let's do it differently. So can you see it right now?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. So yeah, sorry for the delay. Yeah, let me present to you Accurate, also Europe Horizon project. Very happy to be here and talking about how we are achieving resilience through manufacturing as a service, digital twins, and ecosystems. So this mostly already summarizes our vision and missions. So we want to realize the manufacturing as a service ecosystem and value chains, which allow for higher capacity, profitability, sustainability, and to be more resilient against exogenous disruptions. So, for example, a pandemic, as we had the COVID pandemic in 2020, or now the Russian-Ukraine war. And yeah, this should build a federated manufacturing as a service framework in the long term, based on data space technologies, and should culminate in an ecosystem at the end, which really allows to use various tools we are developing, like multiple digital twin models, to actually achieve the goals and to have a human-centered decision support system in the center, which really allows to improve a better, robust planning, resilient operation, and responsive value networks. So our consortium consists of 11 partners from various domains. So we have industry partners, research partners, and some are bigger enterprises, some are small, medium enterprises, and so on and so forth. So a lot of competencies at hand. And I think I already summarized the objectives. So we have 6 of them. Most of them are already covered by the mission and vision, so don't want to go into detail here. And important to understand also from an exploitation perspective in the long run. So what we really want to achieve is to have a blueprint which can be applied as easy as possible to the biggest value creation which is happening in Europe. So for that, we took the aerospace manufacturing supply chains with Airbus Atlantic. We took electronic systems and also, of course, automotive as supply chains to really validate our toolings to then being able to apply them also after the project. So then maybe last but not least, before moving on to the ecosystem, quickly explaining what manufacturing as a service is and how it differentiates from a manufacturing service. So manufacturing as a service is the paradigm, so the overall framework, and a manufacturing service is the instantiation of that. So a manufacturing service is a process or operation how value can be created. So basically it's similar like the 101 of data science. You have input, you have some kind of algorithm, and then you get an output. But in this case, in the middle, the algorithm, so the transformation is actually a physical process, which then allows to have more valuable output at the end. But this can also be applied, of course, to digital services, for example, like resilience services, sustainability services, which create value to the European manufacturing ecosystem. Talking of ecosystems, so to really enable collaboration in supply chains and have tooling which allows for trust, we have built or currently are still building a decentralized platform and a marketplace which actually allows to publish servitized manufacturing services and also physical services in general. So why do we need such an ecosystem built on trust? So first of all, there are already platforms out there, but they do not provide sufficient levels that collaboration can happen on a fair level. So most companies, especially small, medium enterprises, are very much feared to lose control over their data and their intellectual property, and also not sure how to apply the different highly complex regulations we have in Europe, most of them for a very good reason, but still they increase complexity and are difficult to grasp for smaller companies, of course. And yeah, what this leads to, that the most valuable data we really need for more resilience, more sustainability in supply chains stays in silos. Companies or institutions are afraid to share it, and we need much more data to actually stay competitive on a global market and to compete with China, with the US, to really enable the full potential of AI and of digital twins. So for that, new solutions have to be created. And as I already said, data platforms already exist. So we have the hyperscalers with AWS, Azure, and so on, but they do not provide a sufficient level of trust at the end, because you have to centralize your data. They are controlling the data afterwards, and of course they are also controlling the rules of the platform itself. So you are quite dependent from these platform providers at the end, and their rules they define. So because of that, a new concept has emerged called data space, where actually the participants are defining a common rule set, a governance framework under which they want to collaborate. So the rules are created by the actual participants of the platform, and this already is a big improvement, but the infrastructure remains centralized in most cases. And centralized infrastructure where, for example, the data is being pooled and uploaded also creates a lot of business risks. For example, there could be outages, there could be some kind of malicious hacks or whatever. So also not sufficient level of trust to work with each other. So now we move on to a paradigm called data ecosystems, which is not only decentralized in the decision making so that there is a democratic governance framework, but also the infrastructure itself is decentralized. And exactly that's what we are applying in Accurate to build such a data ecosystem, which is not only decentralized, but also interoperable to avoid the data silos I have mentioned before. And yeah, just to summarize, what are data spaces, or in this case, data ecosystems? So they are decentralized platform which allow for data sovereignty and to allow value creation based on data, digital services. In the case of Accurate, of course, also physical services. And yeah, to increase interoperability, we all want to work with one shared catalog, which is interoperable with each other. So there could be different architectures, as already Manos mentioned. So for example, Flex4S is working with IDSA and Pontus-X at the same time. But by applying standards and semantics, it's actually possible to bring all of this together and much more increase the reach how companies can collaborate with each other while also upholding data sovereignty in the process. And as I said, a governance framework has to be developed, which of course takes a lot of time and legal input. And because of that, a lot of companies are setting on already established standards. What we also do in Accurate, as we are using the Gaia-X framework here to really ensure trust and compliance, and so that companies can collaborate with each other without being afraid of any kind of issues in the process. So for that, for actually when it comes to the architecture, how this data ecosystem is being instantiated, we are using the Pontus-X framework, the same as Flex4S is doing and a lot of other projects are doing, but more on that in a minute. So first of all, what does the Pontus-X framework allows us to do in Accurate? It allows us to instantiate a marketplace where actually data and services, digital services, but also physical services can be exchanged, monetized, and also, of course, consumed for your new value creation as a consumer afterwards. And it should be as easy as possible. So existing infrastructure can be reused, your databases, your ERP system, MES systems, and so on. It's quite easy to connect, to start as fast as possible. And to really ensure the data sovereignty in the whole process, you need a lot of features like identity and authorization management, access controls, which we are also automating by using smart contracts, transaction logging to really ensure the compliance in the whole data exchange or service exchange process. You need some kind of business models, more on that in a minute, to also ensure exploitation at the end. So payment services are part of it. And as I said, to really ensure trust in the whole process, we are leveraging Gaia-X compliance. And so the goal here is to collaborate with various stakeholders across the supply chain, but also of course across this. Interoperability is a big part of it, to really create this one unified European data and service market at the end, so that we can compete with the biggest hyperscalers across the continent, across the world, to stay competitive in the long run. So speaking of the Accurate marketplace, what kind of services can you actually find there and broker there? So first of all, as I said, manufacturing services, which allow for a physical process of value creation and which can be then digitally purchased. You also have algorithms, for example, digital twins, which allow to calculate sustainability, resilience, and get recommendations out of that. And also, if you want to just monetize your data, which you might not need, but which might be valuable to others while ensuring the data sovereignty in the process, you're also to just monetize your data as a service. And talking about algorithms and digital twins, it's important to understand that, of course, since manufacturing is in many ways still conservative and maybe not as digitalized as we wish for, you need tools to actually orchestrate these digital twins. And to have an orchestration layer in Pontus-X and in the Accurate marketplace, while also ensuring data sovereignty, we use access mechanism called compute to data. Compute to data means that the actual algorithm is brought to the data on premises of the data owner, is being started, for example, on the edge, on his private clouds or on his servers in a containerized environment. The computation is taking place, for example, a resilient assessment service, and afterwards only the results are being shared with the data consumer. And that brings a lot of advantages. So first of all, of course, as I said, the orchestration layer is already integrated, so you do not need to do that on your own and do not need to have the digital prowess to do so. But on the same time, the data owner can really be sure that his maybe very valuable raw data, which includes his intellectual property, is not being compromised in the whole process. So this is very much leveraged and accurate, of course, for all the goals I have mentioned before. For example, we have developed several tools which have already been to some degree validated, but are still in the validation phase, as our project is still taking 1 year. For example, one of them is a supply network analysis tool to really calculate the resilience and the sustainability, for example, to then receive recommendations based on that. Always the human should be in the middle of it, so it's human-centered, but important is to being able to execute and orchestrate it as easy as possible for small, medium enterprises, and that's what we are doing. And also a second example of tooling we have developed in Accurate is the matchmaking functionality. So important to understand if you are publishing a physical service, for example, you want to monetize and in which we want to contract in the Accurate marketplace, you need to understand, or the consumer which might want to buy such a service needs to understand what are their requirements and which might be the best supplier for the service, so the matchmaking can also be executed via computer data here. And on the other hand, of course, the supplier, which might connect his ERP, MES systems to provide real-time information, sorry for that, also wants to ensure his data sovereignty in the process. So that's a very good combination to use such algorithms together with computer data. So as I said before, we want to make it as easy as possible for SMEs. So we have integrated several access mechanisms, standardizations, and endpoint compatibilities to allow to connect already existing ERP systems, databases, and so on. So for example, SAP is already available, so also the IoT platforms of Contact Software. And yeah, to also really ensure here to be cutting edge, we have also validated in other use cases federated analytics and federated learning to apply the concept of computer data on a bigger scale. And yeah, we want to make it as easy as possible to start with that. Talking about exploitation and next steps to really ensure that the project stays or the results of the project stay relevant after the end of the project, we can see that Pontus X is not only about Accurate, but since we are using the GaiaX framework and the decentralized nature of the infrastructure, a lot of projects, also Flex4S, which has just presented, but also others are already using the framework, which are all technically interoperable with each other. And it's growing every day. We see in the middle a lot of operators which together provide you decentralized infrastructure, so there are no central dependencies. And on the other hand, on the right side, we see a lot of initiatives, projects. Most of them are from research, but some of them are also already from the free market, which try to leverage Pontus X to start value creation. And this can also be, of course, through the nature of the decentralized infrastructure, be instantiated or continued to be used after the project. So talking about GaiaX, just mentioning here that we have several lighthouses which are already using Pontus X here. Accurate is one of them, Flex4S is one of them, but there are many more also from the manufacturing sector. So we are coming step by step closer to this vision of a unified European manufacturing as a service ecosystem. But not only manufacturing as a service, so we also see, for example, Agros AI from the agriculture domain. So it should really connect whole of Europe together. Now talking about exploitation and business models. So how can you start earning money with that? So for that, we actually have a payment layer. And since data sovereignty and in general, full control over your decisions are part of it, you really ensure that all stakeholders in the ecosystem can build their sustainable business models and ensure a sustainable operation of the Accurate ecosystem in the long run. So on the one hand, you have the AI and software owners, so the algorithm providers, which can monetize their service. You have the data providers, which can monetize their service. Also, the infrastructure providers, for example, if you want to offer computer data as a service, can monetize them. And the decentralized infrastructure of PontusX is also taking a small transaction fee to make it sustainable in the long run, which of course is aligned with the decisions of the governance framework decided together by all participants here. And multiple business models are enabled, so transactions are automatically settled in euro. You can publish services with pay-per-use or as subscription models for the different kind of services available, and they all can be already leveraged right now, but we are also, of course, in the context of Accurate, using a sandbox here to simulate all of this and to bring it live after the project to ensure that all results are actually validated and battle-proofed before going live. And last but not least, mentioning digital contracting, because this is the most important part when we talk about monetizing services, physical services, and digital services alike. So you need a contract in place, which of course is quite difficult for small, medium enterprises to do on their own, since they need a lot of legal support here to do so. So because of this, we have available data usage agreements and terms and conditions as templates created together with law firms to ensure that this can be used out of the box, be customized to the specific use case, and make it as easy as possible to use them for any kind of interested service publication partner, but also to being able to be audited by the consumer at the end. And data exchange is always happening peer-to-peer, so also the data is not being uploaded to PontusX in any way. If you look at the catalog, it's only referenced metadata and endpoints and supported by access controls and connectors to ensure data sovereignty. So yes, maybe a last slide here, a small call to action. So if you're interested to try it out, the sandbox of Accurate, the Accurate Marketplace, but also the other data spaces can be explored today. So feel free to write me an email or just check the onboarding tool out on your own. We are very much looking forward to your feedback and to your own experiences to start leveraging these kinds of digital services, and also to ensure that this can be reused in the long run and ensure the competitiveness of our manufacturing industry in Europe. Okay, that's it. Thanks, everyone. And handing over to the next one.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Yes, we will try the link. Then now we can go on. We are a little bit out of time, but we go on with the next project that is Agiland.
Okay, thank you, Alexandra. Yeah, I will share my screen, and I'm going to be quicker, so maybe we can do it faster. Perfect. Yeah, we'll share my screen. Okay, do you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Loading. Okay, perfect. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Okay, so yeah, good morning, everybody, and thanks for this opportunity to present what ILHand does and what are the technologies and the use cases that we are working right now between the project scope. So my colleague Andreas, well, first I will try to introduce myself, sorry. My name is Maria Paez, I'm from Fundingbox. And in this project, we have the role of exploitation and community manager. So our main goal is to help ILHand technologies to reach the market through the matchmaking with early adopters and working with the use cases as well on their go-to-market plans. So right now, just a quick overview of the project. ILHand is a European project that develop advanced technology for grading, handling, and packaging soft and deformable products, such as fruit, sweet, and other delicate food items, right? But especially on the food manufacturing sector. The main goal is to help manufacturing companies to become more flexible, agile, and reconfigurable. This is the ILHAND consortium, the developing partners that have been working together for the past 3 years to develop these technologies and these solutions. The main 3 objectives of ILHAND projects are developing, as I said, these flexible and resilient solutions to handle a variety of different products with high precision, because a key challenge of this process line is the items that they have to work with. They are the different size, right? So they need to have quick reconfigurability solutions to improve all these resilience strategies. Then, as a second goal, deploying easy to program advanced control system in order to provide intelligent handle and complex products through AI solutions. And the third, increase productivity, enable fast and accurate movement of work pieces through the production line. So for that, we have been working with different use cases, and each of us have provided to us different challenges and problems that we've been sorting out thanks to the ILHAND solution during this test. Today, as we don't have that many time, we're going to focus on this use case. Okay, is the use case that had been between the project with the pilot company Santorsola, a food manufacturing company from Italy, and the technology developer that helped improving their product line was Fondazione Bruno Kessler, that is the research organization that was working closely with them in developing and co-creating this solution. So this main use case was focused on automate grading raspberries, because it's a very delicate, of course, and challenging task, because the raspberries are a food item that are very delicate and very deformable. For that, Fondazione Bruno Kessler developed a AI-based sensing solution that grades the raspberry into 5 quality categories. This system operates in real time as raspberries move along of the conveyor belt. You can see there the conveyor belt in the photo, even when partly hidden inside punnet, because as you can see, this some of the raspberries are a bit hidden inside this plastic box, but it's still the solution keep measuring the size and the different metrics. What the solution did was localize the affected fruit, identifying their exact positioning and identifying the exact position in the punnet. This allowed a robotic system to remove them automatically, and they combine AI perception with remote robotic manipulation. In order to train this model, over 21,000 raspberry samples were collected and annotated. And right now, the solution is close to a TRL, I would say 6, 7. Okay. As I said, this is and the solution was used, as I mentioned before, to integrate the production line grading process for the delicate fruit, in this case, raspberries, and including this AI solution with the robotic arm. In the photo, you can see the conveyor belt together with the robotic arm that they use to develop the solution as to work in the use case. The purpose was automate and improve the food quality grading and enable a smarter production line, basically. So in order to as I already mentioned, all these let's say results of the use case, I don't think I'm going to take more time on this, but as I said, all those 21,000 raspberries were texted and annotated for really testing how the conveyor and the robotic were working together, and the AI solution as well. Right now, regarding the solution, it's not ready yet, of course, because it's in TRL 6 or 7, but it's ready to be tested in different process line scenarios, and different use cases. Regarding the exploitation strategy and adoption, the idea of Fundazione Bruno Kessler together with Santorsola is to try to participate on events, on social, create social media campaigns and workshop to showcase the real industrial results of this use case and highlight the AI-driven automation and the easy integration of the process line, basically. Also, we are promoting this technology in this website that is called TechFinder, that is developed by us, by Funding Box, where we promote these technologies and we look for early adopters, because this is the key activity for us, right? To create these use cases around the technologies in order to help them to be disseminated and to really create some credibility around them. And well, some of the advantages that we have been identifying through this whole process was automate the grading task, provide objective, consistent quality grading, increase the efficiency, enhance the traceability, and is adaptable. That this is the most important thing, because as I said, we are working with food that very different sizes and they are deformable. So this solution is adaptable across multiple food sector, which was our main goal, actually. That will be it. As I said, I have been quick. If you have any other question, I'm not responsible for the technology itself. I'm the community manager of the project, but I will be more than happy to answer any question or put you in contact with the owners of this technology.
Perfect. Thank you, Maria. Yes, you are very quickly. Thank you. We can finish with the last project, that is credit.
Hello again. Burcu, will
Hello.
you make
Yes. Now, yes.
presentation, or I can share my screen right now.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. You are muted.
Hello again.
Okay.
My name is Büşra Ünlü. I'm working for Turkish Aerospace Industry for more than 8 years, and I'm a technology development engineer in the company at the field of additive manufacturing and advanced manufacturing technologies. I'd like to mention about our project first, which is the credit, namely circular economy and remanufacturing, enabling digital twins and decision support systems. Our main objective is enabling the circular remanufacturing of components and products, promoting sustainable manufacturing and reducing environmental impact, actually. We create a digital platform to integrate services to support remanufacturing activities, such as decision support tools, traceability and quality control, predictive maintenance, and operational support to human operators. This project will follow the human-centric approach and involving the final users and stakeholders from the requirements defined phase and developing needed skills, education capabilities, and to use this technology in their platforms. We have 5 different use cases, actually. And 8 work packages regarding with the requirement and specifications of the credit platform and data platform infrastructures, digital twin for remanufacturing, and credit digital services and applications, and their demonstration and evaluation activities within the use cases. Our consortium, including some companies regarding with Ministry MTU, Soraluse, IDENER is the project coordinator, CrowdHelix, and Profen, Gorenje, University of Ljubljana, FARplus, Profen, and Turkish Aerospace. We focusing on the 5 different use cases in our project actually. First one is white goods. The end user is Gorenje. The second use case is automotive industry, which is FARplus. The other one is telecommunication industry. The end user is Profen, and the other one is Spindleheads. The company name is Soraluse, and our use case is the inlet duct for aerospace industry. I would like to mention about our problem definition first, because we have we are manufacturing these inlet ducts in a Turkish aerospace facility, but we are manufacturing these inlet ducts with hand layer process, which includes the thermostatic matrix materials, and which should be cured at 180 degrees C and 7 bar pressure. We are facing with chronic wrinkle problems when manufacturing these inlet ducts. So we want to change the functionality and the manufacturing processes with the different manufacturing technologies such as additive manufacturing, and we targeting to apply out of autoclave manufacturing and manufacture complex and monolithic parts. And focusing on the recyclability and the remanufacturing by changing thermoset to the thermoplastic materials. We want to decrease need for the assembly requirements and inline robotic manufacturing and fiber layup technology. And finally, the in-situ monitoring and decision support via the digital twin application during the production. So we want to apply sensor integration into the parts, data acquisition and analysis, and make these parts and induce the structural health monitoring and the predictive maintenance on the parts actually. Our first goal is integration of advanced sensors into the product independent from human while using the 3D printing methods, FDM method actually, to import the blind aircraft with the implementation of sensors, integrate them, and make this aircraft to smart aircraft, and make the digital twin of the aircraft part actually. And the other goal is the development of software and digital twin capable of doing SHM applications actually. Today we are using hand layup method as far as I can explain you. So this thermoset materials is human dependent manufacturing actually. So they are non-reshapable and limited repairability. We are facing several wrinkle problems regarding with the manufacturing process, and they are not applicable to the complex geometries. But after the credit project, we are focusing on the smart composite part production via 3D printing of material and sensors by using thermoplastic materials. We are aiming to get the digital manufacturing, reshapability and repairable materials, and near zero defect parts with complex geometries, and making these sensors integrable during the production, moving to human-dependent manufacturing to the reshapable and repairable thermoplastic materials. So as you can see in the left-hand side, the fluctuation, we are focusing on the implementation of the sensors into the our aircraft, especially for inlet ducts, to define the requirements for sensors data and provide data to the project. We are providing the data to the project partners and determining the functions of the software tools which are developed at the end. And as you can see here, the production of human-dependent and zero-defect smart structures at one time can be feasible for with the FDM method, which is a 3D printing with the entire layer of the sensor applications, actually. Our main objectives are increasing the product lifespan with condition monitoring and predictive maintenance. The other one is support machine-oriented manufacturing operation with digital tools and transition to a more sustainable and efficient design of the inlet duct. As you can see, the right-hand side, the KPIs, which are we are focusing on the better health monitoring and predictive maintenance with increasing more than 5% of parts inspected with new methods, and more than 8% identified defects are focusing and trying to do. And we are increasing the lifespan of the inlet duct, 20% increase with the mean lifetime of the inlet duct. We want to improve the sustainability by decreasing the resources usage or emissions or waste or energy consumption, changing the manufacturing method from hand layup to the FDM process, actually. The overall improvements in efficiency is decreasing 40% of lead time and 30% of labor costs. And when we think about the application of the technology and how it was included the TA Turkish Aerospace processes, for digital twin case, which is applied to the aircraft subsystem and remanufacturing lines for monitoring, modeling and degradation and validating part use case. And we are focusing on the decision support systems or distributed ledger technology, DLT system, and predictive maintenance is very important for our use case, actually. And sensors and analytic implementation on the key assets on the anticipate failures. So we are planning to reduce the unplanned downtime and maximize the reuse of high-value components, actually. When we think about the exploitation strategy and market introduction and adoption case for our use case, the industrial validation is important for us. Running full-scale demonstration, which is TRL7 in Turkish Aerospace facility, and using real aerospace components is important. Business model definition, the developed key exploitative results, which is CARES, such as DT-based maintenance models, DLT traceability, DSS tools are used. And the other one, licensing and integration credit results integrated to existing aerospace MRO maintenance, repair, and overhaul systems. And the other one is the partnership and standardization, as you can see here, the engaging with the remanufacturing Helix network and made in Europe partners to standardize DT technologies for the aerospace industry. Why users should adapt the technology? Because efficiency and cost savings, sustainability and compliance, traceability and certification, and flexibility, the main adoption drivers, actually. The value for users are predictive maintenance and DT-driven decisions, reducing the downtime, material use, and manual inspection is the important key parameter for our credit project. And the other one is supporting the EU Green Deal and circular economy targets by reducing waste and carbon dioxide emissions, actually. So we are all focusing on the open source modular ICT platform integration in the credit platform. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Yes, so we are a little bit out of time, but maybe can be some question for from the other projects. I don't know. if you have some curiosity about what we have said today. Or yes, maybe we can talk about some. I think that it is very important to understand how to bring these new technologies in the market. So the best thing is doing a very good exploitation plan and think about the difficulties of companies that have to introduce these new processes and new methodologies in their work. I don't know, maybe someone has some specific question about it or maybe some ideas.
Alessandra, Domenico is speaking.
Yeah.
You are completely right. We need business plan and the exploitation strategy in place in order to be ready for the market. But I would add also that at least for the Rare Square project experience, that the early adopters have a crucial role in this process. Because if we try and manage to demonstrate with measurable number the flexibility, cost saving, I think this will help the initial skepticism about new technology, and it will pave the way for the market penetration, basically. So we should have the demonstration cases that are crucial for to be ready to the market, basically. And yes, I only would like to add this point to what you have just said.
Yes, maybe also because if there is a demonstration also for the companies in the market, they can see how these technologies has been applied to some companies. So maybe they can be sure that it is a good solution and they can be afraid of it. So I think yes, but maybe sometimes it's difficult to work with these demonstrators, according to you, or it is always simple.
No, difficulties are always in place. We have experienced this in Rare Square, but anyway, are difficulties that can be easily encompassed and overcome, I would say. So, but it is a crucial point for the market to demonstrate that what we have developed is working and produce some competitive advantage for the industry, basically. And yeah, I don't know how is the experience in the other project, but it could be great if also other participants could share their experience on this and what they think. And yes.
Maybe Anna or Urko, Bushra. I don't know if you have something to add.
Actually, in our use case scenario, we are changing the material, we are changing the manufacturing system and the other stuff, but we are focusing on the only one demonstrator plan and want to use all these data to other platforms as well in the aircrafts. So it is sometimes feasible, but sometimes it's not feasible for all case scenarios. But we are facing difficulties sometimes. Yes, you are right, Domenico.
Yes, then also the importance of sharing data sometimes is a part of the barriers that are included in this kind of work and collaboration. But yes, I think that with all these projects can be they will be useful for also to break down these barriers. I hope for this. Well, I think that maybe for the next webinar we will have a more discussion about these topics. We will speak about sustainabilities, but also how can these technologies can be included in these method in these processes, and we will focus on the discussion. So we will be the next webinar will be more focused on this part, and a very short time for the presentation of all the projects, so we can join for this reason. And so I don't know if there is some other question or topics that you want to share with us. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for organizing the webinar. So the question is about the next one. So should we have all of us the same, information that we will provide? Meaning that I understand that based on the previous slide, we will be focused on how we can proceed with these technologies, how we can convince people to use it, etc. But should we have some similar points that all of us will go through them? I mean, for example, should we go in a project level or in a use case level, or on the level on the information that we want to provide? I think that this will be easier for all of us to understand the barriers that all of us will have, like a generic outcome of the final webinar. I'm not sure if you agree, but at least I think that this will help to understand it better.
Yes, I agree with you. So, yes, we will focus on this, and we will try to put together all these kind of inputs in order to have a more specific scenarios in which we can talk about. So yes, obviously, I think that it is very important also to talk about sustainability and circular economy, because it is the main focus of our project, because we do this new kind of solution also because we want to improve new methodologies for sustainable production and sustainable processes. So we will try to put all together and try to understand how also to explain to the world and to all the citizens all these things, and to companies, and disease. So yes, of course. Obviously, I will send to you all the specification and all the new question, new part of discussion. So in this way, we can organize in the better way the next webinar. That will be on 27 of November. But I will share with you the calendar and so on. So this week you will share all.
Okay, thank you very much, Alessandra, and thank you all for your availability. See you next
Thank you,
webinar.
Alexandra. Thank
Thank
you so
you
much
very
for
much.
organization.
Ciao.
Thank
ciao.
you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.